will be opened. And I want to talk about that for a moment because when Melissa and I showed up here, we came because there was a door that had opened because somebody had been asking, somebody had been seeking, somebody had been knocking. And it converged when Melissa and I, in our own desire to carry out God's will and his plan for our lives, converged with what God was doing here in Ovid long before we ever showed up. God had a plan for this church. God had a plan for this community. And we simply said, God, here we are. We want to be a help. We want to do whatever we can. I honestly thought I would just be preaching to a bunch of old people. And then I would just keep doing my job and keep working. But I want to tell you what happened that first Sunday. We had 12 people that first Sunday. The Sunday after that, we had 24, 25. The Sunday after that, Palm Sunday, we had 50 on into Easter. And we stayed at 50 for a little while. I'm grateful for that. But what we experienced was simply an open door, and we walked through it. Now, since then, we have seen other doors, and so as you see this graphic here, there are doors in what I think is our back 40 here of opportunity, things that we have not yet seen happen here at Heartland. And I want to give you some encouragement, church, that if you have never really been a part of a vision of something bigger than you, that's what the church exists for. And it's not just for one person's vision. It is Melissa and I and our leadership leaning in, listening to the heart of God, but also listening to the heart of his people to say, what is it that God has put in your hearts to what is it that he's put in you? What answers to the world's problems can we help you now become? And this has been the joy of our work here, is to see people find good work and do it. And so as you join us in this next season, this is a season of open doors. And so as you're going to hear that language more and more, that we're praying for open doors, we're believing God for open doors. And so a big way that we're pursuing that, number one, is that we have some things that we need to be asking for. And to ask big is not to be is not to be proud or boastful. Asking big is actually an act of humility, because it means that there's something greater than you that needs to happen. And it's saying, God, if this, I can't do it on my own. I don't have the resources. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the understanding. And when you begin to ask God to step into the voids and the vacancies of things that are missing as he gives you vision, more times than not, it's the things that are missing that God's speaking to us about what can and must be, that we begin to believe him for. And it's simply our job as pastors to recognize the things that are lacking in your life and believe God for those gaps to be closed and for God to fill what's lacking and to help heal what's broken there. And so as you and I begin to experience what it's like to come together as a church family, you're going to experience more doors beginning to open. And I've seen this happen for the past 10 years to tell you otherwise. And so this year specifically, we're going to be believing really through Kingdom Builders. Kingdom Builders is a large part of this church's future. But I would say especially for this year, as we're pivoting and we're moving, we're right now 10 years past on so many things that need to be updated and need to be refreshed. Why is that important? Well, if you came into this building with the carpet that we used to have in here, with the paint on the walls as it used to be, probably peeling, probably falling apart, you probably would have looked at us and thought, they don't really care about me. They don't really care about this place. And it's not that we care so much about this building, is that we care about you. We care about who is yet to come. And like anybody who would come into our own house, we want to make sure that the table's set. And this isn't just this isn't mine and Melissa's house. This isn't, Doug and Tammy's house. This isn't, Kurt's house. This is all of our house. We all share a part in it. And so as you see what we're going to be moving towards through Kingdom Builders, number one is we have to always have a global mindset, that we are not just a small country church. We are a powerful, life-changing, world-changing agent that God has planted here in Ovid, Michigan. to be much bigger than maybe our imaginations are. And what happens is when we come together, our imaginations are meant to be kindled and meant to be broadened and gained a bigger access into the future than we could have ever known or experienced on our own. And so my job is simply to hear from God, to put vision in front of us. And as people step up and say yes to it, we get to see the full picture, because you all are going to bring something to the table that I wasn't anticipating. It's the more than you can ask, think, or imagine that only God can do, but he chooses every single one of you to make that happen through. So we're going to take a look at a few things here. I'm going to take control of the slides if I can do that. I might not be able to, but I will try. Global impact, two specific areas we're going to be moving into this year. In our along with the 20 plus missionaries that we're currently supporting, we have come alongside Project Rescue and Convoy of Hope in the past, but this year we're going to do it intentionally. This last year we did not. There was so much of our resources that were committed to the Life Center, but this year I don't want to pass that by again. And so I want to show you, for those of you who've never seen the good work that's being done through Convoy of Hope and Project Rescue, I'm going to show a few videos here to give you a peek into what we're going to be investing in this year through Global Impact.
Together with Convoy, we are making hope happen. How? In 300 million different ways. When children are fed nutritious meals, the cycles of hunger and poverty are broken. That's why Convoy feeds hundreds of thousands of children every school day in nations across the world. Empowering women and girls creates opportunities that lasts for generations. That's why Convoy partners with women as they start their own business and support their families. The best solutions are grown at home. With Convoy's training and resources, local farmers create sustainable futures for themselves and everyone around them. During times of disaster, Convoy responds to make sure people know there is hope in every storm. With more than 40 million Americans living under the poverty line and 1 in 5 children in the U.S. going to bed hungry, Convoy is committed to meeting the pressing needs of families and communities across the country. Hope and the transformation it brings can't happen without you. Partner with Convoy of Hope in bringing life-giving change to people and communities around the world.
We have another video. I'm not going to show it, but it is our Project Rescue project for this year is Jireh Academy. And this is a brand new academy that's being built in India through Project Rescue. They've taken it a step further from simply creating a safe house to creating an elite, like world-class education facility. It's on 10 acres of property. And they're just now beginning they're in the planning stages of it right now. But this will go beyond simply rescuing people out of human trafficking, women and children out of human trafficking, and bringing them into an opportunity that truly changes their world, and through them will change the world because of the kind of education that they're going to be giving. I'm going to drop this in the project page so you guys will be able to see this. But I want to keep moving along here. Our local outreach, local impact project for this year, we have several, but the one that we will continue to invest in, Student Challenge, is reaching Ovid LC Middle School. The work that's being done there is so important, and we think about all the stuff that happens between elementary, middle school, and high school. Denise Wilbanks is doing an incredible job there, and we just want to continue to say yes to that work. And so your Kingdom Builders support is going to help further that as well. I want to take a minute to look at the future generations and the projects that we're going to be handling here. Did we go offline?